thank you so much with your patience with using Teams. This is a new program for us working in our suite of Microsoft. So hope everyone was able to access and get the app and everything. So I am going to have us get started, but please take a second. If you are on a laptop and you can scan your phone, please scan your child's ensemble's handbook. And that will be something that we can refer back to during the parent meeting. So take a minute to do that. But I just want to welcome you to the Quad City Symphony Youth Ensembles. This is a really special program in the Quad Cities where we gather really our most dedicated orchestra students in the area. I want you to know that, that we can, sorry, I'm getting a bit of feedback from myself, but you can engage in this program as much as you'd like. So really, we do have kind of a paradigm for Sunday rehearsals, but if your student wants even more from this program, we have so many opportunities for them to just really continue developing their love of music. So you're going to see that throughout this parent meeting, that we have so many opportunities for your students. And I just want to highlight, I always highlight something every year for those of you who have been really experienced youth orchestra parents, but 3 of our staff members are actually alums from this program. So I am a QCSYE alum. I was part of the Youth Symphony for 5 years. Michelle Otteson, our concert orchestra conductor, was part of the Youth Symphony for 5 or 6 years. And Anthony Hernandez, who's our wind specialist, was also part of the Youth Symphony growing up. So again, this program is a really inspiring place for your students to be. It allows them to grow. And I'm just really excited to introduce you to it today. So Kevin, you can go to the next slide. We have 4 youth orchestras in our program: Prelude Strings, Concert Orchestra, Youth Philharmonic, and the Youth Symphony. We currently serve more than 250 members. And Prelude Strings is a string ensemble for students who've been playing for about 1 to 2 years. So it's really the first experience where students get to play in a full ensemble with other students who are dedicated like they are. And then they move on to concert orchestra. And concert orchestra is our first full ensemble with strings, winds, and percussion. And they get an idea of what it's like to play in a full orchestra. The winds get to learn how to project in front of this group of strings, and the strings get to learn to blend with the winds and brass. And then they join the Youth Philharmonic Orchestra, and this is an advanced full orchestra where, again, they get to hone their skills before moving to the Youth Symphony Orchestra, which is our flagship ensemble and a place where our most advanced music students gather. So this is their general weekly rehearsal time, but please refer to the handbook for a complete schedule that will have everything you need to know for the year, and then Kevin will keep you updated. So I'm going to pass things off to Kevin now.
Oh, I was muted. No worries. So yeah, I wanted to just talk for a minute. I'm super excited to start up the season. I hope all of y'all are as well. So we have a new music director with Hisham Bravo Groover. And I actually want to just turn this over to him for a minute, let him introduce himself and talk for a sec.
Hi, everyone. It's always an interesting experience to talk to a room of screens, but it's so great to meet you all here, even this virtual manner. And I'm especially excited to meet you all and your students, or your kids, pretty soon. As Kevin said, I'm the new music director for the youth ensembles, and I'm coming from 5 years living in Minneapolis, so going from the Twin Cities to the Quad Cities now. I'm a violinist, I play less and less the more I conduct, but I still keep it up. I love working with youth. I'm especially excited to meet these kids again. I met them during my audition in February, but they just seem so passionate about what they do, and I've kind of taken that into my planning for the year and have kind of curated some really exciting repertoire for them, for the Youth Philharmonic as well as the Youth Symphony. Some highlights, obviously, for those of you that will be coming to Riverfront Pops, you'll get to hear the Youth Symphony for the first time. I'm really excited for that aspect of our program, which really starts off things with a bang, so to say. So I just encourage you to come up to me during break, before rehearsal, after rehearsal, say hi. I obviously will meet your kids, but I would love to meet all of you at some point. So I won't take any more of this time, Kevin and Chelsea. So yeah, just super excited to get the season going.
I am going to, right. Apologize, everyone. We are learning teams still. So a little bit about our youth orchestra staff. We have Tony Hernandez, who is our wind specialist. He works with concert orchestra every week, and he also works with the Youth Philharmonic and Youth Symphony wind players throughout the year. He is a private lesson instructor in Geneseo, Illinois. He teaches lots of different brass instruments. And then we have Lizzie Lundeen, who is our prelude strings conductor. She is from Augustana College. She graduated from Augustana College, and she's been with Prelude Strings now about 6 years, and she is a violin player herself. And she and Michelle both work in the Davenport School District as orchestra teachers at North and Wood. So if you're from there, it's super cool that they get to be part of your experience. Michelle Otteson is our concert orchestra conductor. Again, she is a YSO alum as well, teaches in the Davenport District, and she is a violinist. And Kim Busick is our string specialist. She's a full-time string teacher at the Quad City Symphony, and she works with Prelude every single week, and then all of the violinists in the program throughout the year. So this is who you'll see each week at rehearsal.
Yes, so just a little bit about myself. So I am the youth ensemble coordinator. I am who you will see every Sunday at rehearsals. So I play the trumpet, and I teach in the private lesson program with Quad City Symphony as well. And I'm actually now starting to work in the development department as a development associate as well. I just finished my coursework for my doctorate at the University of Iowa, so I still have a dissertation left to do, but I'll be working on that the next couple years, trying to finish up. So I want to talk a little bit about the communication that you're going to receive from me throughout the season. So every week I will send an email with updated information for that next rehearsal that weekend on Sunday, and this will get sent every Tuesday. So if you ever don't get an email from me, send me an email because something happened. Because those will definitely be sent every week. Some of the things that will be included in this will be the rehearsal time on Sunday, the location, and I always attach a map and instructions for where to park, how to get there, which doors to use. At the bottom of this email, there's a looking forward section, which includes the next 4 weeks. So if you want to plan even further ahead, like I do, please go to the handbook. And everything for the whole season is in the handbook. I want to take a second and say, if things change, you will get an email from me with that change in there, and the handbook will be updated as well. The emails will most likely be faster than updating the website. So if you get a change in one of my emails, that is good to go. And I will make those very clear in communications. Also in these emails will be updates for the QCSO concerts and additional things that are coming up. My office hours are Tuesday through Thursday. So if you need to email me for anything, those are the best days to reach me, where you'll get the quickest replies from me. And then Remind Text. If you haven't signed up for Remind, please do so. If you are a returning student and maybe in a different ensemble and you want to leave the previous ensemble, you just need to reply stop to those reminds on the ensemble you no longer want to receive messages from. All of the information for how to sign up for this I'll attach it in the next email I send as well, but all of this information is in the handbook. And so now the most important thing I think that is in these emails at the very bottom, there are 2 buttons. One will be for the handbook. It's a link so you can get to it really quick and easy. And the other is for the musician page. So the musician page has parts assignments and music on it so that you can practice and know, what we need to prepare, what we're doing. And then, the handbook has all the information you need for the whole season. These remind texts are very important because of weather updates. This is how I communicate day of so that you get information the quickest. So yes, please sign up for those remind texts, because it's sometimes going to be not possible for me to pull out a laptop and email everyone, but I can hit those reminds from my phone. So if something important happens or an emergency, that's how I'll communicate that.
Right. And I just want to make a quick note because funnily enough, sometimes I get unsubscribed from the youth orchestra weekly emails, even though I work for the symphony. And so please add Kevin and my emails to your contacts. That way we always come to your inbox. We don't accidentally get labeled as spam or marketing or anything like that.
Yep. So rehearsals, every student needs to bring their instrument, their music, and they will be given a folder with music in it at the first rehearsal. They should also bring any mutes for brass instruments, or I guess strings as well might have mutes, but any accessories that are needed for the parts you should bring as well. You should always have a pencil. And this is my favorite thing to say, and I say it every year, but the very first rehearsal, your students might not know many people, they might be nervous, that happens. The easiest way to make friends is to have an extra pencil, because somebody is going to forget their pencil. It always happens. It's inevitable. And if you have an extra, you can go, do you need a pencil? Boom, instant best friend. I've seen it in my own personal life all the time. So I actually recommend not bringing one pencil, but bringing a couple, in case somebody close to you doesn't have one. And then really important, if you want to bring drinks, it needs to be water. We use other locations and we're guests in those locations. So we don't want to spill anything or damage any venues. So water, completely appropriate and acceptable. Please bring a water bottle, all for it. Coffee, not so much. I don't think any of us need coffee when we're playing our instruments. So attendance is very important. This is a team organization. These orchestras, it's not one individual player. So everybody being there is very important for the group's overall success. So how we take attendance, at the beginning of rehearsal, everyone has a name card, and that's how they know where to sit. It's placed in the seat before they show up. So if any of your students are nervous about the first rehearsal, where they go, where they sit, we'll be there helping and directing, of course, but they have a name card and a seat all for themselves. At the end of rehearsal, they will take that name card and leave it on a stand by the door, and this will be reminded and told to them throughout the season. But that's how we know who was there and who wasn't, based off of those name cards being moved and placed where they're supposed to be. Then some rehearsals throughout the season are sectionals, and we bring in coaches from the QCSO. These are professional musicians that come and work with the students to teach them, their parts, give them help. And this is a really amazing opportunity for students. I'm blown away. I'm jealous that they get that. I want that. It's a really cool opportunity. And these will be notated in the handbook as well and in my emails on which days are sectionals. But attendance for those sectionals is extremely important. It is such a great opportunity. So definitely be there on those days. And so in that handbook, all of the dates and times are in there right now. There's a couple of locations that I'm waiting to hear back, but those will be updated as soon as I know. But for the most part, the handbooks and all of that that information is updated, ready to go. So if you have any questions about schedule or stuff like that, that's where I would look. So our attendance policy, I mentioned how important attendance is. So we understand that students are busy and do lots of things, and we love that they do lots of things. We think that they should. We allow 2 absences per concert cycle. So a concert cycle ends, it starts over every time they have a concert and they start new repertoire. So the dates are listed on here. If there is an absence, we ask that you complete a rehearsal absence form. This is attached in all of the emails that I will send out. This is the best way to communicate, that they're going to miss. I get them day of, I have access to them right then and there. The reason this is so important that you fill these out as soon as you know that you're going to miss. And if, it's 10 minutes before the rehearsal starts, that's better than nothing. Because if there was an incident, weather related or something like that, I need to know who's in the building. And I need these so that I don't think I'm missing a kid and looking for someone who's not there. So please fill these out anytime you have to be late or miss or need to leave early. Just let us know. And this is the best way to do that is through the form. I don't always have time to check my email during rehearsal days with multiple ensembles going on. So this is the best way. If your student has to miss because of a school function or event, we completely understand, and that's an excused absence. That does not count against them for their 2 absences that they're allowed every concert cycle. So in that form, there's a place for, reasoning for absence. Just let us know, it's a school event, band concert, marching band trip, whatever it is, let us know. Orchestra, I keep saying band, I'm a trumpet player. But yeah, so dress rehearsals. These are the rehearsals right before the concert. These are mandatory. We need everybody there for those. It's very important for the success of the concert that we have the whole ensemble there. And then, of course, concerts are mandatory. We want you there. We want you to be able to perform. If you spend, a couple of months working on the piece, we want you to get to play it. So, yeah, so those, if there is a reason that you need to miss a dress rehearsal, we need to know this way in advance, and you need to speak with the conductor of your group and let them know and talk to them and tell them what's going on, just so that they're aware and can plan accordingly. So concert days, these are the exciting days. So every concert, before the concert starts, there's a stage rehearsal. Our concerts are not in the spaces that we rehearse, which is, I think, really cool. We get to perform and play all over the Quad City area, which I think is actually a really neat thing that we get to do. But because they don't get to rehearse in this space, it's very important that we have the rehearsal beforehand, because every space is very different for balance, timing, all of this. So this is a very important rehearsal. These are mandatory. This is part of the concert day. So between, sometimes some of the groups have a break between their stage rehearsal and the beginning of the concert. We require that students stay at the venue during that break unless we have written permission from parents. So if they want to leave to get lunch, run home, get lunch, do whatever they need to do. For those of you that live really close to the venues, I can understand that. I just need to know, I need an email from parents or guardians in advance so that I can allow them to leave. It's a great opportunity, this break. People bring games, they hang out and do fun stuff. It's a great opportunity to do homework. I know that that's, an important thing during the year that we're also conscious about. So yeah, have students bring something to do for that break. And then when the concert starts, it's very important that students listen to the other groups. I think this is really good for their development. I mean, I learn something every time I go to a concert, every time. So I think that's really important. So we do ask that students stay and watch the other ensembles in the audience. So yeah, that's kind of how the concert days look.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of the concerts. All of these concert dates are in the handbooks. So the first concert of the season is actually the Youth Symphony performing, and they are performing at the Riverfront Pops, which is this year the music of Led Zeppelin. So they are the pre-show performance to the Quad City Symphony on August 17th. And this is a really fun way to start the season. The kids have a rehearsal the day before and then perform the next day. So it's kind of a whirlwind weekend, but it always just really builds excitement. So everyone's invited to come to that concert and enjoy the music of Led Zeppelin and the performance of the Youth Symphony Orchestra. And then we have our fall concert, which involves every ensemble, and this is on November 10th at the Adler Theater in Davenport. And this is what we call a festival model. This is where all the ensembles perform that day. And this is a great way for us to start the season to hear everybody perform in one concert experience. And then for the winter concerts on February 16th, we actually split these concerts into two. And this is at Davenport Central High School. And the first performance is at 3 o'clock with Prelude Strings and the Youth Philharmonic Orchestra. And then the 7 p.m. concert is Concert Orchestra and the Youth Symphony Orchestra. And a lot of people always wonder why we do a festival model versus a split concert. The festival model allows everybody to listen to each other perform, and then the split concerts allow for the students to perform for a longer period of time, maybe pursue some longer form works, especially in the top two orchestras. And then we end the season with all the orchestras with a side-by-side concert on Sunday, April 27th at 3 o'clock at the Adler Theater again. The side-by-side refers to the Youth Symphony performance with the Quad City Symphony. So we actually bring together our entire organization for this special concert. And we also have our concerto competition grand prize winner perform as well with the Quad City Symphony. So I'll talk a little bit later about the concerto competition. But all these concerts are just really unique and really fun. And then we finish out the season with the Youth Symphony. They perform a finale concert on Mother's Day, May 11th at Moline High School at the Bartlett Center. And this is a way for the Youth Symphony to, again, perform some longer form works like a symphony. And they also perform a concerto with one of their members, who is the second place winner of the concerto competition. So this is a great way for us to feature our ensembles and our Youth Symphony Orchestra soloists as well. All of you get a free adult ticket to these concerts, and we send out a discount code 1 month before the concert is happening. So you will get plenty of emails. You get the discount code sent to you 3 times before the concert. So it'll show up in your inbox multiple times. I'm just going to briefly talk about our code of conduct. We have a more extensive version in our handbook that I encourage you to read. We really have the best students in the Quad Cities, and behavior is not something that we have to think about. We get to really focus on the artistic experience of the students. But please have a conversation with your student about remaining in the rehearsal room for the duration of their rehearsal time. So we use Bettendorf High School and Pleasant Valley High School and Moline High School. There's so many hallways that students can be in, but we really, in order to honor those venues, we need to stay in the music area in the rehearsal rooms. And we do have breaks, and the students are always welcome to use the restroom. We also encourage all of our members to respect all of our staff and other members and our rehearsal venues. And like Kevin said, we are guests at all of our spaces. We do not own any of the spaces that we use. So we really hold ourselves and our students to a high standard so that we can continue to use them and they feel like we're a really good community partner. Going now to tuition, everyone should have received an email this morning with a tuition invoice. please let me know if you have any questions about that. But there are really 3 ways to complete tuition. And all of you indicated your preference on the placement confirmation form that you filled out in late May and early June. But some of you opted to pay in full by Monday, August 26th. You can also pay in 4 installments for August, September, October, and November. If you opted to pay in full but want to pay in 4 installments instead, just send me an email and let me know, and I can convert you to that plan. And then if you've received a financial award, you have an email with more specific directions about how to pay tuition. So we kind of overshot, and we got your invoices early, so you have plenty of time to complete those. But I just want to make a note that our tuition every single year only covers 40% of the cost of our programming, the cost of music, and all of our staff and all of our sectional coaches, and that really make the experience really significant for your students. So we're really religious about that 40%. And so sometimes our tuition does increase year to year, but so do our expenses. So we just want to let you know that we're working really hard to keep that tuition cost at 40% of the cost of the program. And if you didn't receive an email this morning with an invoice, just send me an email at csalmons@qcso.org and I can resend it to you. Next is our school music enrollment. We require all of our students to be part of their school music program, whether that's band, choir, or orchestra. They need to be part of one of those classes. We are really not a supplement to a school music program. It's really important that your students have weekly ensemble experiences in school, private lessons, and then youth orchestra as well. So we all complement each other. We all have really significant roles. We have incredibly talented music educators in our area that can contribute to your students' education. So we check that every single year with the educator to ensure that we keep up the standard of the program. If you do have a conflict, a class conflict that you cannot get around, for example, if your student has to take a class during orchestra class to graduate, or something like that, we're able to have a conversation with your school counselor just to make sure that there's no other option before we consent to them staying in the program. So please consider this an invitation to have a conversation. I don't want you to withdraw without having a conversation with me first if this is challenging for you. And our homeschooled and private lesson families private schools that don't have ensembles, you're automatically exempted from this requirement. And next, I just want to touch base on private lessons. A lot of you have received information about our private lesson program. We currently have more than 240 students that we serve every single week. We give out $50,000 in financial aid every single year to make this an accessible program. We have teachers for every instrument, including saxophone and euphonium. So we're really proud of this program and the service that we're able to provide the Quad Cities. I can't imagine as a parent, if your kid picks up an instrument, you go, where do I find a viola teacher? So this is a big resource for you and for our community. So if you ever need a new private instructor, just let me know and we can get you connected with one. And next, I want to talk about our scholarships. Sometimes the word scholarship and financial aid get really muddied together. Financial aid is income-based and our scholarships are merit-based. So these are open to anyone in the program, but we have been awarding these since the 60s. So the QCSO community has been investing in students' music education for a very long time. But there are about 15 scholarships available to students. Only 2 of them are for seniors in high school. So these scholarships are really geared towards those younger students. We want to invest in your musical development throughout your school years instead of just at the end. So if you are a 6th grader and you're really passionate about music, you should definitely apply for a scholarship each year. And we will open up scholarship applications in late November, and they are due in early January. It's a very simple application that you could probably complete in 15 minutes. But we have certain qualifications for these scholarships. So we really encourage volunteerism in our youth orchestras. So we have an opportunity called Prelude Strings for our top students, but a student who maybe comes up to Kevin regularly at rehearsal and says, how can I help? Or can I help you put away those chairs or something like that? Just a student who has a very volunteer focused spirit is someone who's really eligible, someone who has really great attendance at youth orchestras and attends lots of QCSO concerts as well. Students who have a very specific financial need. So instead of saying in your application, I want to have more funds for my music education, maybe you can say, I really want a new bow, or I need money for private lessons, or I'm going to this really cool summer camp that I got accepted to. So if you can say very specifically what you're going to use your scholarship for, that makes you really desirable to our education committee. And then if you're a student who participates in lots of different music ensembles, that's really desirable as well, someone who's willing to share their gifts widely in the community. And then, like I said, there's only 2 scholarships that are focused on 12th graders, but seniority is part of some of the qualifications. So please reach out if you have any questions about those. Again, we'll open up those applications in late November and give you plenty of time over Thanksgiving and Christmas break to complete that very short application. And now I'm going to talk about the fact that we are actually part of the Quad City Symphony organization. The Youth Ensembles is an education program under the association. And this is a really cool partnership. I wouldn't wish our organization any other way. It really allows us to be part of the Quad City Symphony and have access to all these incredible musicians and all these concerts. So if you are in Prelude Strings or concert orchestra, we actually send you a discount code for a free student ticket to all of our Up Close and Masterworks concerts and 3 50% off companion tickets. The idea is that these students are a little bit younger and might need some chaperone support to come to a concert. And so we invite the family members to come as well. But we just think it's really important to hear high-level performances throughout one's musical education. And I always share that I got a free student ticket with my youth symphony membership, and I went to every single Masterworks for 5 years. My parents really prioritized it in my schedule, and it's really led to where I am today. So, and I'm still going, still going to every concert. So it must have been cool. So look for those in every single weekly email. We include those discount codes because we believe it's so important for your student to be at these concerts. It's not a requirement, it's just an encouragement. And it's all those discount codes are also available in the handbook. So check out the season. I'm not going to go over the QCSO season with you all because it could take a long time, but please check it out and see if there's anything that really appeals to you or your student. And for our top 2 orchestras, we have something called Concert Club. And I just want to plug that the Quad City Symphony actually, we talked about this at the League of American Orchestras. We presented on Concert Club. So our group of students here is getting some national recognition for all the cool things that they do. But Concert Club is a group of youth philharmonic and youth symphony students who attend Masterworks and Up Close concerts together throughout the season. So this is a chaperoned experience. There will always be a youth ensemble staff member at these concerts to sit with them. It's $25, and that $25 covers the cost of a t-shirt and a pre-concert meal for our first concert of the season. And then after that, all of the Masterworks and Up Close concerts are free. The students don't actually need a ticket to come to the concert. We meet in the lobby of the concert venue, and then 5 minutes before the concert, we go and sit together in the balcony and watch the concert together. You can join anytime during the season. Now is the best time because then you'll have more opportunity to go to concerts throughout the year. And I want to plug this because this is a big deal. Any youth philharmonic or youth symphony concert club member who attends 5 or more concerts throughout the year will get to go to Video Games Live for free. That's a huge value. It's a really fun concert. It's going to be video game music with orchestra in a large screen, kind of like our movie concerts. It's just going to be really fun. There's a lot of energy around it, and that's on May 10th. That's at the very end of our season. So they have over 11 concerts to choose from, and if they go to 5, they get that free student ticket. So I encourage you to sign up today if you haven't already. It's going to be really fun, and it's always great to sit with kids your age at the concert. And one last plug for QCSO concerts before I move on. Every single year we have QCSYE Night at Masterworks. It's on the first Masterworks concert of the season on October 5th. You can drop your students off at 5:30 at the Adler Theater. We will have a pizza party from 5:30 to about 7 p.m. with games, and then they will attend the concert together, and the concert ends around 9:30 p.m. And we will chaperone the pickup outside of the Adler Theater marquee. You're going to get a save the date email as well for this, but I just wanted to invite you all at the parent meeting. We gather together about 30% of our program, so it's a really, really big event, and it's always really fun for the kids to get together and have a meal, play some games, and then watch a concert together. So Masterworks 1 this year is celebrating the composer Bruckner, who turned 200 years old. He's doing great, and it's also going to feature Mozart's The Magic Flute Overture, which is a great way to feature the entire orchestra. And my favorite, because I'm an oboist, a Ruth Gibbs Concerto for Oboe and Orchestra featuring our principal oboist, Andy Parker. So this is going to be a concert. I always love Masterworks 1 because I feel like it features the entire orchestra. We get to hear the big brass and the awesome woodwinds, and of course the string section and percussion. So this is going to be a great concert for all the students to get to be part of. And next I'm going to introduce George Hess. He is our Volunteers for Symphony president. He is one of our #1 supporters in the QCSYE, and he is going to tell us about Volunteers for Symphony.
Yeah, thanks, Chelsea. Organizations like the Quad City Symphony Orchestra Association just can't exist without volunteers. We've got a group of about 80 volunteers, help with various functions throughout the year. We would love to have you join us. As Kevin said earlier, we know you're busy shuffling kids from robotics to music to athletics. So we know you're busy, but we'd love to have you join us. It's free to you to join up with Volunteers for Symphony. You'll receive a monthly newsletter, Prelude Notes, that will tell you what's happening, opportunities that's going on within the volunteer organization. An example of one area that we're going to be having coming up very soon is Riverfront Pops. And, we're going to have thousands of music lovers coming down to the riverfront. We need an army of volunteers just to help greet our patrons, help them find their places, parking assistance, things like that. And if you volunteer for Riverfront Pops, you get a free t-shirt and admission to the concert. So we would love to have you join us for something like that. Another upcoming event is going to be something called a pop-up sale. And that's going to be at the QCSYE, Center for Active Seniors near North Park Mall. We would love to have some YE students play, maybe 15 minutes to half an hour, and just provide some music for the shoppers that are coming through. So again, lots of opportunities. I believe Chelsea could probably send out some links for you to join Volunteers for Symphony for Riverfront Pops. If your student would like to play at the pop-up sale, links will be there. If you will need to contact me directly, you can get me at volunteer@qcso.org, and you can email me at that location. So I guess that's about all I had, Chelsea.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm adding that to my to-do list, that volunteer sign up for the Riverfront Pops. I guess I didn't mention earlier, but it gathers about 6,000 people, sometimes more, every single year. So it does definitely take an army to put on that production. So thank you, George. And you can use the QR code to sign up if you're interested in being part of Volunteers for Symphony. Another way that you can be involved in the Quad City Symphony and fundraise for the youth orchestras, for our students and families, it's the Scratch Cupcakes fundraiser. This is every October, and the pickup is usually the Thursday after the fall concert. So it's a great time to have a fundraiser right before the holidays. If people are having lots of family over, they will have cupcakes ready to go. I do want to challenge you all because we have one member of our youth orchestra who sells more than 1,000 cupcakes every year. And I think his crown gets bigger every single year that he does this. So his ensemble usually wins the highest percentage of sales to get the pizza party. But I do challenge you all to go door to door and see if you can beat Colton Dirks. He's the one. So he's got a target on his back. For adults, we invite you to our soiree. It's the theme is a night in Italy this year. It's Saturday, October 19th at 5:30 at the Figge Art Museum. This is our formal gala every single season, and the symphony does it so well. The team really decorates the space beautifully, and there's also a performance with our QCSO musicians in more of a chamber setting. And all of those funds for both of these fundraisers, our soiree and our sketch cupcakes, go towards the Quad City Symphony Youth Ensembles. So get involved, and I included a picture here of Zach Morton, who is the Moline High School orchestra teacher, who is looking very swanky in his tuxedo. And we are now going to open up questions just for Prelude Strings and Concert Orchestra families. We do have some more information for our other youth orchestras. And you're welcome to stay, Prelude and Concert Orchestra families, but just wanted to offer any questions real quick before we send you on your way. Okay. I'll take that as a compliment. Please always know that you can reach out to us via email anytime, either Kevin primarily. And if you have any other questions, you can email me as well. All right, for our Youth Philharmonic and our Youth Symphony families, we host seating, audition, and part assignment discussions throughout the year. So Kevin's going to tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so these are really cool opportunities as well. I know we have so many cool opportunities, but these are opportunities for you to play by yourself and get feedback from judges, for professional musicians. So this is a learning thing as much as it is anything else, and that is so helpful in so many ways. So to start, strings have seating auditions every single concert cycle. And these dates are listed in the handbooks as well. You will get the music, the excerpts that you'll be asked to perform and prepare for these auditions 1 month in advance of those due dates. Winds, it's a little bit different. YSO knows already. They have one that's happening the very beginning of the season. YPO hasn't heard anything yet. We're working that out to figure out where we're going to put it. It could be called anytime. It might not be called at all. It's kind of depending on what Hisham hears and what he wants to do. But part assignments are based off of those auditions, and they also can rotate. So Hisham might move people and change parts up depending on what he's hearing to give opportunities to new students. It's very important to learn how to play, as a trumpet player, first trumpet versus second or third. I mean, all the parts are extremely important, but the roles are different. So it's really good to kind of get to learn and see those different sides of the roles. All of this information will be communicated in emails. A lot of it's in the handbook. And if it's not already, will be long before anything happens. But these auditions are due on the date that's listed in the handbook for strings or in what's in the email. At 1 o'clock. These are typically on a Sunday. And yeah, your seating placements will most likely change based off of how those auditions go. So it's important to, prepare them and do your best and show, what your strengths are. And that way, conductors and other people can hear your improvements and give you feedback. So yes. That's I think about it for the seating auditions.
Yeah, and I always have a note to mention that this is a really standard youth orchestra experience to move around. I'm part of a national organization called League of American Orchestras, and this is something really standard across the country to give students different opportunities to sit in different seats. And I personally sat in all 3 seats, English horn, oboe 2, and oboe 1 while I was in the youth symphony. So it's a great experience, but like Kevin said, having an opportunity for your conductor to listen to your individual playing is a really unique experience and not something to be, balked at or anything. It's a good opportunity to get some feedback. So, okay, Youth Philharmonic families, if you have any questions, we're happy to answer those now. Again, you can keep listening to the parent meeting if you want to hear more. Laura has a question.
And an email about ensemble or chamber opportunities. Is it too late to do those?
That's a great question. Yes, we have a Chamber Institute program for students who applied before July 1. So we have closed those applications, but I'm so glad that you brought that up. So there are 4 ensembles this year between YPO and YSO that will be rehearsing before their rehearsals every single week. So glad you brought that up. So yeah, next year, when you see that application reminder come through, definitely make sure to apply before that time. But those students are very dedicated. They rehearse an extra hour every single week in addition to their ensemble rehearsal. Emily has a question. Oh, Laura, you have another.
I was just wondering, what do they play at certain times, or is it just the practicing small group experience?
They perform 2 recitals a year, one in January and then one in May. Yep, and they perform about 15 minutes of music, which is pretty significant for a chamber ensemble of their age. Yeah. Yeah. Emily had a question.
Yeah, I just wondered, and maybe this will come out, do we know locations yet where they will be having rehearsals on Sunday?
Yes, so a lot of the locations are listed in the handbook. Most of the rehearsals are at Bettendorf High School. There's a few Pleasant Valley high schools that will come up that I don't think are listed yet because I'm working with them still just to confirm. They're actually doing construction on their music wing this year, so we're actually not sure what it's going to look like yet. But everything in the handbook is up to date. So it tells you which dates were at Bettendorf, and all of the ones that don't have it listed yet will very soon, definitely before season starts.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Great. Any other questions? Okay. Awesome. Well, you symphony members, you have 2, actually 3 really unique opportunities throughout the year. The first one is the concerto competition. You have the opportunity to prepare a concerto from a approved list that we have. But if you have a concerto that you want to perform that isn't on the list, you need to email Hisham before October 1st to get it approved. But this is a really, really, really cool opportunity because the first place winner gets to play with the Quad City Symphony and the second place winner gets to play with the Youth Symphony Orchestra. Both are really incredible performance opportunities. I always have a lot of students ask me a lot of questions, and my first answer is, have you talked to your private lesson instructor? So please involve them immediately if you decide that you want to participate in the concerto competition, because they're going to be kind of your guiding force on this journey of preparing a concerto work. So the application is due on October 1st, and then the competition's actually on December 8th at 5 p.m. at Bettendorf High School Auditorium. And this is open to the public, so you can bring any friends and family that you'd like to be there for your performance. And yeah, we encourage a lot of students to participate with kind of the understanding that this is a really big project, requires a lot of time and a lot of careful preparation. But so many of you are up for it, and it's always really great to hear your performances each year. So you can scan that QR code for more information. I believe you've already received an email with more complete information, but please read all the caveats and all the specifics. I won't get into it today, but I do encourage you to look at that opportunity. Next is our CAT scholarship audition. This is open to youth symphony members who are seniors in high school going to college. If you are someone who is looking to go to a 4-year university to study music, this is a perfect scholarship for you. It is an audition scholarship. So you perform, I believe, kind of 2 contrasting works. One of them could be your concerto competition piece if you're part of the concerto competition applicants. But you perform for Mark Russell Smith and one other QCSO musician at Augustana College in Centennial Hall on March 2nd at 5 p.m. And you will know if you've gotten that scholarship by the end of the day. But this is a really unique scholarship. It's our largest at over $4,000, and we send the scholarship every year. So we send it in increments over 4 years directly to your college. So you don't even have to worry about remembering to put that check towards your education. We just automatically send it to them. Now, a lot of students notice with the concerto competition and the CAT scholarship that it's during rehearsal and you are automatically excused to audition for either of these opportunities. So don't worry. Kevin and I are talking to each other about this opportunity for you. So you can scan the QR code. This is, again, an opportunity you cannot put together in a weekend. This is something you have to plan for. So plan for it now, and that way you will do great work every single day leading up to it, and you'll feel really confident once you get there. And next is Prelude Strings Mentors. And Prelude Strings Mentors are YSO string players who attend Prelude Strings rehearsals. And these happen every single week at the same location as YSO rehearsal, and you can volunteer as little or as much as you'd like. And you basically demonstrate good behavior in rehearsal, play side by side with the students. Ms. Lundeen might ask you to play something by yourself, and to give an example of a nice YSO sound for those students. I always encourage the kids who want to go into music education to use this opportunity to get an idea of how Ms. Lundeen manages her class, what kind of things she says to fix certain techniques. It's just a great experience. So you can use that QR code to start to sign up for those dates as well. And your volunteer hours are counted by us. So you don't have to do any work. We'll do that on our end, and could make you eligible for our Volunteer for Symphony Scholarship, which is based on the number of hours you volunteered with us. So this is a really great opportunity to get those. And I always think this is a great resume builder, especially if you're a music education student. All right, we have given you so many details. Don't worry, Kevin is here to support you along the way. I'm here to support everyone always in all music education things. But does anybody have any final questions before we send you off for today? Okay. Thank you all so much. We will see you in August for the Riverfront Pops for the Youth Symphony performance. We're so excited to hear you play. I'm hoping it'll be a cooler evening with less humidity and maybe no rain that week for the park's sake. So thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you.